Alrighty, guys, welcome back. It's your boy EQ, and up next we have Joe Budden saying Drake should have known that labels were against him when the Future and Kendrick Lamar liked that record wouldn't leave #1. He also went on to say that anytime Kendrick releases music, it looks like the full weight of the machine is working the record, while Drake looks like he's just recording records and uploading. And people forget that the music business is in the business of making money. So it's not a shocker that UMG would put their full might behind Kendrick Lamar. I mean, he's been on a legendary run, and I truly believe that if Drake's records resonated with the people like Kendrick's, he would have definitely been given the same push. At the end of the day, it's capitalism and the culture decided. And guys, it's a Future and Kendrick Lamar collab produced by Metro Boomin, calling out Drake. If you didn't think that would be a slam dunk record, you're living on a totally different planet. And you could put all the money into an artist, but if the public is not connecting to it, it's all futile and the truth will eventually show its face. Honestly, Drake crying foul now just shows how dependent he was on the big machine because he's crashing out in such a legendary fashion. And now that the support that he once had is gone, instead of showing that he's still that guy and worth what he believes by releasing hit music, he's just continuing to show how much of a sore loser he is. With every move he's been making, just adding more fuel to Kendrick Lamar's run. So enough dilly-dallying, let's jump right into the next video, where we have Joe Budden saying Drake should have known that the labels were against him when the Future and Kendrick Lamar record like that wouldn't leave #1. Also going on to say that anytime Kendrick Lamar releases music, it looks like the machine is working the record, while Drake just looks like he's recording and uploading. And if you need any examples of labels pouring money into an artist for it not to translate to real world engagement, you can just look at somebody like a Lil Nas X.
He has all the resources in the world, albums, and to get songs popping and moving costs money.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that he know how much.
Probably not.
I'm not sure he know how much Universal has spent on making some of these songs stick. But if you know music, today, he's having a hard time making something stick, and that's not because he lost talent.
It's not that.
It's obvious that Drake doesn't have the same support that he once had, but a lot of it is due to his own doing.
It's not because he lost talent.
No, I don't believe that.
He's still him. But without that label, and without that button that they push, he's dropped joints that some people feel could go. I was just watching somebody I was watching, they was talking about, yeah, man, they started naming records. These records should have went. Hey, if this was 5 years ago, this record would be a top 20 record. Guess what, Playboy?
It's not
anymore. It's not 5 years ago. And there is a reason. I know you fans, so you're like, oh, why is this not good? You don't know shit about shit. This shit is designed and programmed.
I'm agreeing with everything. Look,
I've been signed as a music producer for the last 4 years, and I'll tell you this, hit records aren't made, they are bought. While records have gone on to go and reach huge success organically, after a certain while, they usually do end up partnering up with one of these bigger labels to reach the heights that they probably wouldn't be able to get to without the big machine behind them.
With Drake, with the Drake brand, it really leads more to the label is kind of more important than he's putting credit on. Because look at the things he's done outside of the label. The knock the Nike brand, it ain't take off like Kanye shit did.
nothing.
The OVO Jordans ain't take off like that. Like
the OVO label.
The OVO label, yeah.
Part.
Respectfully.
Everything that
Yeah, but as far as the OVO label, the same thing that's going on there is honestly the same thing I see going on with a lot of these other labels run by artists. At the end of the day, a lot of these artists do not want to give the necessary resources to the people on the label because they still want to be the #1 guy. So they just divert all the funds and resources to them, which is the biggest reason why I feel like these artist-run labels usually don't succeed.
that you've done outside of music ain't really hit like that. And if music is only hitting because the label is pushing, not saying only, but it's almost like
the biggest
and we
reasons.
seeing the label not push the button now, and the music ain't even hitting.
Do you think the label suppressed it?
I think they just let it go.
Hey, Ice.
I think, I don't think they're intentionally going out and suppressing it, but when you don't have the machine behind them, when you don't have the relationships that were once making the calls necessary to get them on all the playlists and ranked as high as you should, if you're not on the top 20 of some of these playlists, just being on there really isn't going to be too much of a help, because usually people after the 15th song usually go on about their day. And Drake has dropped records this year only for them to fall out of the Billboard Hot 100 after a few days. Even the features he's done don't have the same effect they used to. The Drake stimulus package seems to be over. And just like sports, sometimes the talent is the last one to know. And if Drake is able to go independent, I only feel like it's going to make him further realize that this was the case, that he really did need the label, at least to get to the heights where he once was. Because he can easily go from doing $500K a week to now doing $80K, maybe $60K without the support of the labels. And if you're now angering all the DSPs and making enemies of these tech billionaires who have co-founded X and Reddit, how else do you think you're going to get your music out there? Because they could effectively bury you in the algorithm and make it super difficult for you to be found.
They suppressed where he tried to drop on his own. They snatched shit down. Like he tried to put some shit out. They'll strike it. They did that.
But that was telling us how they felt.
Yeah, true.
That was telling us
it's up already now.
Where they stood.
And I will say this, if Drake did have the power he once had, the label would have to let him do whatever he wanted. But now that the records aren't hitting how they used to, you're starting to see UMG now flex their power. Because for a long time, Drake was able to go in there and kind of throw his weight around and force their hand when it came to making moves, because Drake knew that they needed him more at that time, or at least that's what he thought.
On things, and that this relationship
obviously
has soured.
The case.
To take it back to fucking the battle and Kendrick really quickly, it's not just me. I'm what the culture's feeling. However y'all interpret culture, because it's subjective now, but I would assume that Kendrick, let me not say Kendrick, that somebody had a talk with somebody.
With some people, yeah.
And there was a word on the curb, in the great words of Melissa Ford. And yo, dog, we were saying it. Hey, this is odd that this record won't leave #1. Why is this like that shit? They ain't shoot a video.
But the thing is, you can't forget that it is Future and Kendrick Lamar. And the fact that Kendrick Lamar is throwing shots is obviously going to catapult that record. I don't think Future realized that that record would be probably the biggest song on his project, which is why they didn't film a video. But that still doesn't change the fact that it really had all the ingredients to be a #1. And capitalism won. At the end of the day, these corporations are going to give the people what they want, but 99% of the time. And obviously what they wanted was more Kendrick music.
What did they do besides press a button? We don't know. Maybe they spent some money. But when a record stays at #1 all that time, these are clear indicators, and he chose to, and I'm not getting back to his decisions during the beef, but he chose to focus on artists when that boy knew his real beef was higher than that. It was higher than that.
But he been knew that.
Yeah, but
he's been saying that.
Yeah, but you can put too much dip on your chip. You can.
But the label, your arrogance can make you.
It can.
But I'm just saying, he's not blind to the point that the beef ain't with the beef.
Yeah, man. Usually pride leads before the fall.
Beef is higher up. He's been telling us this for years.
Yeah, but
that's my thing.
You wouldn't be spending time on ASAP Rocky and them if.
But you knew who you're in.
I don't think
the way he was explaining it was like, yo, whoever the higher up is, y'all got them together to all attack me. It's still coming from above.
I don't think there was an orchestrated attack. I really do just think that a lot of these people just smelt blood in the water. And honestly, a lot of these people were probably waiting for the opportunity to go and do something like this. But if you as an artist has done some of the things that Drake has allegedly done over the years, sleeping with executives' wives, throwing your weight around, demanding stuff, after a certain while, they're going to grow resentful. And if you're not achieving the same success you once were, it's going to be a lot easier for the label to now go and get their get back.
The label is so powerful, they're making the fall off look like it's self-inflicted.
That's true.
That's how powerful
I agree with that.
They're making.
Nah, man, the label isn't forcing Drake to go and pull some of these moves. You can't really blame Universal for doing that. Yeah, they're obviously playing the cards that Drake is dealing, but I really do put most of the blame on him. If he were to go and just focus on putting out some hit music and stuff that doesn't sound derivative, stuff that doesn't sound played out or as if it's been on some hard drive for years, maybe the situation is different. But the fact that he's been antagonizing everybody and trying to paint himself as a victim when allegedly he was the one that benefited the most from the same system is crazy. So while obviously I do think that UMG is going to take whatever Drake does give them and spin it in their favor, you have to give them the ammunition to do that.
That's being overlooked. Like, he's still talented, he still got it, but they're teaching him such a big lesson that they're making the fall off. They put all these things in front of him. They're making it seem like it's him that's doing it.
He can't rap anymore.
Because a lot of people, what he's doing now, yes.
I don't think the rapping really has anything to do with it. I just think the perception has changed.
It's to the culture where we from, yo, you ratting, you look nasty. But there's a lot of artists that wish that they could have done that. Not basically off of being dissed, but just go against a label that are moving things and to make them look a certain way or helping the career go on a decline.
My only beef with that is you had no problem when you were the main recipient.
Of course, that's the only issue.
Who would?
I'm just saying. We seen a lot of niggas lose to the labels.
You sat there and talked like you was the king piece on the chessboard, which you were.
Okay.
But now it brings all of that in question because it's like, all right, so if you're telling us that they got the power to make you look where you can't succeed in music no more,
yeah,
are you also telling us that all of your success in music still came from them?
Yeah.
1000%. I totally agree. At the end of the day, you can't take the benefits and then cry foul when you're not the one benefiting anymore, especially when it looks like you were the one that put yourself in that position.
Because your talent didn't change.
The answer is yes.
Yes and
See,
no.
that's my other problem with
it's yes and no.
with certain things that he says in the suit about just the systems in play and the business of how music moves that are now working against him. Which says to me, well, that means that you knew how they, not only did you know how they were working for you,
You benefit.
but but that's a given, but that's what you were running around taunting in the streets along with I make the best music. You know that your lawyer used to work for the prosecutor in the town, or you know that them people behind you, they got all the hammers, they not even letting nothing push.
True.
He said some shit like, damn, I got a brain freeze right now. But yeah, that's my other issue with him. He knows.
He knows.
He knows.
So I think that, and I think that his knowledge is way more than our knowledge about what the goings on are, right?
Of course.
So let's just say if he was the golden child and they was able to, with his talent, push a button and let him go. During the beef, they wasn't pushing the button on none of them songs
Which songs?
that he was putting out with Kendrick in the beef. They wasn't pushing the button on them songs at all. So now he might
I don't know if you can really say that. I really do feel like this is the music business. So they're going to invest in stuff. They're going to potentially get their money back. If they're seeing that the reception has changed and the people aren't rocking with it no more, you can't really expect them to keep investing in a sinking ship.
have information, I'm just guessing, that saying, yo, y'all doing shit that's not just let it go and see what happens, but y'all might be trying to mute my shit at the same time.
So well, they're 100% probably going to try to mute all of his shit, or not mute. The record business is just going to have other records be heard. So it's like a phase out.
Instead of promoting yours.
So I got 7 songs.
No, Drake used to drop, hey, everybody move. Everybody move. It wasn't just us saying it. That was a path being cleared.
Gotcha.
Now that he's on the other side, everybody, we just dropping. Or nobody's dropping. We're gonna freeze all this shit, but you won't benefit from shit.
So now he's trying to go the internet route. I'm trying to put some shit out on
Oh,
Instagram.
also, wait, let me reply to you real quick.
No.
He never dropped a song. See, I'm not talking fan talk today. He never dropped a song. Not once.
What you mean?
Family Matters was released.
It wasn't a song. It wasn't a song.
It was a response?
There was something that, listen, they fucked up the streets in the mixtape game, so nobody know what's what now. But savvy people know the difference between you going in the studio and you making a song and you putting it out on your own.
Yeah, but you can effectively say the same thing for like the Kendrick Lamar records as well, though.
Versus something that's being worked by millions of people. Like that is a song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is on someone's album. People have hands invested in this. This is an artist that is largely responsible for some market share. I'm talking about Future now.
Yeah.
And then you add Kendrick. That is a song being worked. Drake was just home rapping and pressing buttons and uploading.
Putting it out.
There was nobody, it was him on his own. Then Kendrick comes back with everything that he did was attached to something where other arms and tentacles are working this. The only one that wasn't was probably 616 in LA and Meet the Grams.
No, the shit that I like.
Euphoria.
No, that was
Yeah, so that's basically all the records. Yeah, man. You can't really say that Drake is pushing out stuff that aren't songs and Kendrick Lamar is doing the same thing. I just feel like the public really resonated with Kendrick Lamar's music, and that showed with the way that Universal was going to get behind it. But if the public was feeling Drake, it would definitely be a different story.
Released. That was released.
All of them were released except for 616.
Dog, the only ones that matter are like that and not like us. Those are the two that matter.
But I'm agreeing.
Just looking at all the ingredients of Like That, one could easily see that that song was going to be a major success. I mean, you have a huge hitmaker in the future teaming up with Kendrick Lamar, one of the premier artists, and he's taking shots at Drake. So to think that that record wasn't going to become a phenomenon, you'd have to be living under a rock, especially knowing the type of tensions that have been surrounding Drake and Kendrick over the last 10 years at this point. So that song was going to be huge no matter what, I feel like. The only reason why that video wasn't made was because I truly believe, I don't think Metro and Future knew that it was going to be that much of a phenomenon, which is why they focused on visuals for other songs in the album. Drake is suffering a similar situation that a lot of other diva actresses and actors have faced, that as long as you're able to come up with the blockbuster hits, they're willing to deal with all the diva antics, but as soon as you drop off, as soon as they see a way out, they're going to immediately take that because, like I said, A lot of resentment does get built up over the years, especially with some of the things that Drake is being alleged of doing. And Kendrick Lamar isn't some scrub of an artist. He's one of the most premier acts in music. So the fact that people are so surprised that he was able to catapult to this level is crazy. And these labels are seeing the very same things we're seeing. They're seeing all the engagement online surrounding anything Kendrick Lamar and the support he's been having. So of course they're going to 1000% get behind that. I mean, it's a business at the end of the day. And Drake has been complaining about the higher ups trying to tear him down. So if he knew that, why would he go about the whole situation the way he has? Two things can be true. You can be smart and still pull off some horrendous moves, which he's proven this past year. And they wouldn't have to necessarily go and actually be actively trying to tear down his career. All they got to do is, like what they said, just not do anything and the effects will be seen. And for someone that has always prided himself and always gloated about his numbers, they're going to see a severe hit if he does go independent. And maybe then he'll realize how much the label was actually helping him. But definitely let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think that the Like That record was artificially inflated? I still tend to believe that that record was going to be a hit regardless if the label pushed it or not, because of the subject matter and also the artists that collaborated on it. Kendrick Lamar is a premier artist throwing shots at the most successful rapper ever. That was going to do huge blockbuster numbers. But definitely let me know what you guys think. Definitely hit the like and subscribe button, guys. That's the channel wonders, guys. Thank you so much for watching. The channel is still doing amazingly. The growth has been exponential, and it's honestly all thanks to you guys. So I really want to let you guys know how appreciative I am of all the love and support you guys continue to show on the daily, because honestly, the love has been overwhelming and honestly probably the biggest factor in me making these videos. So I'm definitely looking forward to what you guys have to say on this situation, and I hope you guys love this video. I hope to see you guys soon. But everything from the production, the artists on the record, and the subject matter, pretty much guaranteed that that record was going to be a huge smash.